you're gonna have the additive here, boom, to turn that off. So if I have the spout off, I have both of these on, and I have the water going to the pre-rinse sprayer, what's gonna happen?
Same concept as the mumps.
It's just holding. Right now, my faucet valves are on, and this valve is off until I squeeze it, right? So it's holding. So what is the possibility right there? Like Jordan said, you have hot from this side, boom. And then you have cold from this side, right? Now, if this becomes a stagnant thing, what can happen? It's gonna mix. All right, it's gonna overpower. However, it's gonna work. It's gonna end up making all the water one temperature eventually.
Also make the valve
All the way through. This isn't stopping here, bro. This is gonna come. You're coming all the way out. It's not stopping. You're coming all the way out now. It's going back into the lines. So most likely, usually when you have it here, because they usually use this faucet to clean, and then they'll use this regular faucet with the longer spout to do the vegetables, they normally notice it here. Now, if this is the situation, obviously you check your diverter valve, you check all of that. There could still be an issue happening at this faucet. And another way to do it is there's going to be ball valves underneath this, right? Every 3-compartment sink normally has a 1/2-inch copper line coming out of the bowl, and then it goes over to a ball valve. So, easiest thing to do, shut the hot water off at the ball valve underneath the 3-compartment sink, let the water flow through. If it gets cold, we know we found the issue. Very simple. We spent a lot of time on this specific one, so I'm going to try to not spend as much time on this mop sink one. But what Jordan was saying is, what do you guys see on the 3-compartment sink every time? Huh?
The hose usually.
Okay, if I'm at my house and I got a hose, but I also want to run a hose to something else, what am I going to use? A splitter, yeah. So don't say that little thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a splitter, or it's just a single hose valve. Not to be a douche, David, but somebody needs to help you communicate, and that's going to be me.
Right.
Look, I don't like my voice, I don't like the way I talk, but I still talk very loud and confidently. It is what it is. The splitter on the mop sink, they'll leave that on. They'll leave it, the 2 handles on, and they'll leave the splitter. And what's going to happen? Same thing as the 3-compartment sink, it's going to end up mixing. Now, these are just the easiest things to start checking, right? They're the easiest things to start checking. I'm going to say more times than not, this has not been the issue when I've been to a store. It can get so much more in depth than that, right? A thing for this, let's just say the store that you're at is having this particular situation with either the mop sink or the 3-compartment sink. What you can do is right up here above the ceiling, you can put some check valves. Underneath this one, you can put some check valves. And if it's a horizontal, if it's a vertical, what kind of check valve you gotta have? What kind of check valve can you not install on a vertical? Or you shouldn't. Because you can do whatever you want.
There are 2 kinds.
I could plumb that couch leg into a system. 2 Ferncos.
There's a swing check and a spring.
You got a swing check and a spring. So you really should not install a swing check on a vertical.
Because the gravity will bring it back.
The gravity is going to stop it. Depending on the flow, depending on different things, it's not worth it to install it. You just put a spring. It's much more, it's much simpler.
It's
So
spring
you put
loaded.
it on hot and cold.
Put it on both. Yep, it's easy. That's copper. That's soldering. Yada, yada, yada. How many 3-compartment sinks are there? You know? Because the thing is, and a lot of these faucets, some of them don't have check valves in them, but a lot of them have check valves in them. They fail quickly, you know? Especially the mop sink faucets, and if the one you have doesn't, and you can't find a spot to put check valves, another way to make some money off of it is you'll propose to put a mop sink faucet as well as a TNS faucet, regular TNS faucets. You can buy those with check valves.
That's what I was wondering, like if there was just something down lower at the source that we could do, like just change out.
You can change the faucet out with a more expensive one that has check valves. You're not going to make as much as doing the actual check valves, and it's never going to be as good of a solution as the actual check valves.
Because you can quote ball valve, union, check valve, or in whatever configuration, and that's a lot of good priced fittings.
Anything, I mean, or you're getting 20 feet of copper and 2 men once you do those check valves.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, you could put the extra fittings. I've never done ball valve, I mean, maybe ball valves if I'm having an issue with the ball valves that I'm dealing with, but
More isolation valves never hurt.
Uh-huh.
And now you have a way to shut it off independently to replace that faucet in the future, or, for any sort of isolation purposes.
so the next thing we got going on here, I do have a recirc line here, and you could look at this if you guys want to. This is a very basic recirc line. It's just, coming from the furthest fixture, the hot water line, and returning back into the cold. You have a check valve right here to stop it from going back into the cold water system. I'm not even going to get too in depth on that today because that's going to be a lesson for another day where we go more in depth. There's many recirc systems. There's many different things you can have on them. There's all types of configurations. A lot of retarded people like to put pressure balancing systems in, yada, yada, yada. And there is a time and a place for that. But a lot of stores are just putting them in. A lot of plumbers are putting them in to make some extra money. You got some fancy valves going in, yada, 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 right? You could also put an Aquastat in, which is pretty much, you just put a bullhead T, a threaded bullhead T, and then you put, like you ever taken a gas valve off of a gas water heater, there's a little brass insert that your thermometer goes into, and that actually reads your water temperature and allows your gas valve to turn on and off. You could buy what's called an Aquastat. They're usually made by Honeywell, and it's just a little temperature switch. It goes in there, you set the temperature, you'll put it, wherever at the furthest point. It will read the temperature of the hot water. That wire will go all the way back to probably a Taco relay switch that'll be sitting right here. That gives you could also just run it off of the relay of this, but I was always doing it in more complex systems, so I'd have a relay board. But you could just run it at 120 volt and have it turn on and off the recirc pump. When this area hits temperature, it'll turn this off. It'll have a 10 degree range, or you can change the range on the switch, just like a pressure switch. You can go 10 degree, 20 degree, whatever you want your range to be. So when it fluctuates, kicks the switch back on, kicks the pump back on, water starts circulating, just so that you're saving time on your pump. But I'm not going to get too in depth on
That's good information.
recirc lines.
That's good.
Because that's not what I'm here for right now. So now, guys, let's just say we've checked everything we can check. We have isolated the recirc, because usually there's going to be what? There's going to be a ball valve here, there's going to be a ball valve here, and sometimes you'll even find a ball valve down here, right? So let's say we got the whole recirc line isolated, we've unplugged the recirc, and, oh, that's creepy. Thank you, Adam. We've unplugged the recirc, and we